Hello, hello, out there in Facebook land. This is Nate with the Cherryland Ghostbusters. I think we're live. Oh, there we go. Now we're live. Hello, everybody. This is Nate with the Cherryland Ghostbusters out there in Facebook land. What is going on with all you fine people this evening? This is a Q&A that was supposed to have more than one member, but uh, minor technical difficulties. We're still trying this whole thing out. So hopefully we can do more of this type of stuff and not have as many problems. We were gonna try to do Instagram because they've made it very easy to have more than one person just online together. Um, but that is apparently not the case with Facebook. It's like they had the foresight to know that everybody was going to be stuck in their homes 6 months ago, and turned off a bunch of settings that were there previously. And I'm sure Google Hangouts is wishing they had not dissolved in the way they had before either. So bear with me as I try this whole thing on my own. If you got any questions, go ahead and post them. I'm going to try to watch this video so I can see the questions as well. Okay, hold on. Yep, I got to be able to. Uh, Apparently they don't pop up. Oh, there we go. No, they are popping up on my main screen, but I will watch the video as well. What up to my fellow Ghostbuster crew watching from our group and the Grayling group, who have all been encouraging me and us to try to do more of this stuff in our current situation. I think everybody's a little stir crazy and wishing they could be outside building stuff and dressing up like a Ghostbuster and uh, going to conventions and all that, kind of fun, frivolous stuff. But right now we all got to be safe and make other people be safe. So stay at home, social distance, all the good recommended CDC related things. Help out your communities if you can in whatever way, whether it's, businesses or restaurants or healthcare workers or schools. Our state is now going to be closed the rest of the year when it comes to schools. So obviously they're going to need as much support as possible. You know, be kind to your neighbor in any way you can. Um, so that being said, and grocery store workers. That is an industry I am very familiar with. Both sister works at a grocery store, and my company is very tied to grocery. And please be respectful and kind to those people that are working and the stores that are working. They are trying their best in a situation that they have never been set up for, ever. Um, and just when this is all said and done, think about that industry and what kind of support it needs. Healthcare too. I think there's some long thinking we have to think about that setup as well, but that's for another conversation. So I'll see if people are. I'm going to get started with the questions. Uh, One of the ones we had that was going to be an obvious one that we were going to talk about anyways was how did we kind of get started as a franchise? Uh, it's got kind of two layers to it. The first one being that myself and Jason Maltese, a good friend of mine, went to Cherry Capital Comic Con in Detroit. Not sorry, in Traverse City, and we went one year with his son, and I had been at previously years and previous conventions all over the country, and he had such a good time and getting pictures with people dressed up and talking to people about comics and just the whole costume contest and everything. On the drive home, he's like, we should dress up for this next year. We should do Ghostbusters. Because we both love the movie Ghostbusters. It's definitely, we are of a generation that movie we look up to. It was funny and unique and weird, and we're like, yeah, we should totally do that. it can't be the, I don't know, it got to be kind of hard. You got to build all this stuff and everything, and then we just started looking into it, and it was like, well, this is really easy. Like less than $100, we've got them on. We've got to we're a Ghostbuster. Buy a flight suit, some boots, a belt, and you're like good to go. Patch and everything. So the following year, we showed up as Ghostbusters. I had a few basic items. Jason, within that year, had went maybe like a quarter life crisis, if you want to call it that, but just he had a lot going on in his life, and he just went and used all his free time to build an amazing pack, and went uh, crazy with it getting done very quickly, and it's impressive. It's full size fiberglass and everything. And so we were excited just to attend. We figured, you know what, Ghostbusters, not a lot of people like. It's not a popular thing necessarily anymore because the other movie had kind of not, been appreciated. It's not a thing I was aware of seeing many people dress up for it in places I had been to conventions downstate and everything. Um, and we don't even get 5 minutes into the entrance, and we have like kids running up asking for like our autographs and stuff. Like they think we're Ghostbusters, like we're part of the whole show. And it was from then on, it was like just something clicked of like, oh, this is gonna be a thing. Like I don't know how or why or what, but this is gonna be a thing. So we attend and have a great time with it. And then on the way home, it was like, we should keep doing this. Like, there's got to be other stuff going on. I know there's other people that cosplay in like groups like Star Wars and other stuff. And then we just started planning and hatching like other things we can go do, and started researching and found basically all these other groups in Michigan and the Great Lakes Coalition, and they were all like organized, and there were people that already had cars and ectos and entire packs of like people and multiple everything. And we're like, oh, well, not only is this not even that unique of an idea, but like now we've got a standard to shoot for. This is the kind of stuff we know how to do. Like, how do we get to that level? So over the course of that next year, I moved to Traverse City. I was living in Charlevoix. Jason lives in Petoskey. Within the course of that year, we started running into more and more people. I think we first met Jason and Heather from Grayling. I'm going to blank out some of the history of it right now. But as that kind of got going, they ended up meeting up with at an event for C4 and Top Comics and the CW. They ended up meeting Carl and his son Gus, who were dressed up as Ghostbusters. And turns out, basically in Simpatico at the same time as Jason and I were kind of trying to start our franchise, Carl and his son Gus were doing the same thing of like, hey, let's dress up as Ghostbusters. We go to all these conventions. Carl's knee deep in that world, builds crafts all the time, has a business that does stickers and designs, and his family home runs Nobbin Jewelry and Curiosity. He's a crafter. He's a builder. He's probably been building things way before any of us even thought about it. He had already previously built like a pack like 5-10 years ago, just because he loved Ghostbusters as well. And they had created the Cherryland Ghostbusters as like, hey, let's make it a thing and not just a father and son thing for fun, but like let's give it a brand, give it a name. And their connection to running into him, and then us all getting together and basically saying, let's not divide and conquer, because Jason and I had by that point been about a year into a different franchise, and it was basically coming down to, this is too confusing, and let's just be under one banner. It's a very unique name. That is definitely the magic of like Gus and Carl, but especially Carl. Carl just has that extra crackle that he thinks of that no one would like. We had a previous name that was so generic and boring because we were trying to play it safe. And Carl had the Cherryland thing, which on paper seems like, well, that's just weird. Where are you at? But as I've now seen this franchise fandom grow in general, after kind of being small for many years, and now it's like you can find any part of the country that there's a franchise. It's kind of nice to have something unique. Yes, maybe it doesn't mean that like certain parts of our area have cherries, but we're never going to be confused with like anybody else unless the only other part of the country that has cherries in any significant way is Washington. And it's so, and unless somebody there makes a franchise that wants to use the same name, I think we're safe. Um, and just it was great to like collaborate with lots of people again. Um, and utilize everybody's strengths. Especially Jason, Carl, and I had different strengths that we could like lean on each other. And as the group grew, it's made it then easier to maintain those strengths and bring other people in who can do more and try new things. But we're not like reinventing the wheel every time we gain or lose members or anything like that. Um, so that kind of gives you like a general idea. I mean, for us, like Cherry Capital Con is like our big kind of event each year that we plan for and really want to give the best because those folks over there have been absolutely great to us from the minute I bugged them to say, hey, I think we're a thing. Can we come be part of your guys' thing that we've already loved for this point, 9, 10 years? Uh, and I love what they are doing over there, and they've been so gracious to let us be involved because they are clearly about comics first at that Comic-Con. I mean, there are plenty of other comic conventions that are far from about comics anymore. And so we definitely feel that appreciation and knowing where you have the privilege of getting to be one of the few uh, awesome kind of non-comic things that get to set up there. Um, so let me see what other people have asked. Has anybody asked a question? No, you're all just saying hi. And Heather got pizza. Heather, don't tease me with pizza. I'm not leaving the